Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Automation, where today we're building a muscle car. Let's go ahead and scroll down to the 70s here, and I think I already see a body that's sticking out to me. Go ahead and check this thing out. Yeah, never mind. I like it, but it's literally just a Mustang. Oh, I actually really like this thing. Let's go with it. Throw in a steel ladder frame chassis here, of course, front engine, and I'm pretty sure some of those old muscle cars did actually have leaf springs in the back, so screw it. Let's throw them in. And can't forget rear-wheel drive, or the 5-speed manual, or the crappy brakes. Really just all the essentials here. First order of business, let's throw some nice wheels on it. And it's got radial TAs. Oh, it's perfect. We're also going to slide in some tail lights. Gonna go ahead and fix my exhaust here. And we're going to slide a cheeky little license plate in front of the fuel door. Look, I'm not gonna lie, the front end on this thing, it took me like 4 attempts to find a design I actually liked. But in the end, I actually think this thing looks like a really beautiful muscle car. Let's go ahead and throw an interior in it. For those of you new to the channel, I like to give myself a little segment in these videos, just to talk about like the philosophy of the build and why I made any weird choices that I might have made. But to be honest, this has been the most straightforward build on this channel, but it wasn't supposed to be the case. I was gonna build some weird 90s minivan, almost like the Ford Supervan, because I was gonna do a little segment of like stretching the definition of a muscle car. Because if you look back at like the Pontiac GTO, which is often considered one of the first muscle cars, it was just a Pontiac Tempest with a big V8 up front. And sure, like it had a few suspension tweaks, but like the original formula was a mid-sized family vehicle, usually sedan, with a big V8 up front. And so I was gonna make like a 90s like dustbuster van, if you guys are familiar, and just shove a giant V8 up front. But I decided not to. So if you guys do want to see something like that, let me know down in the comments because I would love to continue that project. But for now, let's go ahead and get back to this build and focus on the engine. Of course, we had to go with a V8. For no reason, I decided to make it 6 liters. I also decided to go with all cast internals. And we threw in a 4-barrel twin carb. And to be honest, this is just a V8 from the late 60s. There's not much exciting about it, but it does make 350 horsepower, and it sounds great, so I can't complain. Alright, and the last thing we gotta do is drop in that 6-liter V8 and close up the hood. Let's go ahead and see this thing in BeamNG. You know what? I don't want to know. Alright guys, we are finally back in BeamNG, and to be honest, I am very happy with how this car turned out. If you're familiar with the channel and you've seen all the other cars that I made, they're typically very unwieldy, very unbalanced, and to be honest, they're usually way too overpowered in the power plant department. Well, except for the Roadster, that thing made like 90 horsepower. And to be honest, that was my best car, so it all kind of checks out. Honestly, this thing, it just handles incredibly. Even though it's a muscle car and I built it to be like one, it's got an open diff, it's got leaf springs in the rear. It's really just an incredible car. And I mean, it looks the part. I don't know if it's just me, but I really like the way this thing looks. And to be honest, 350 horsepower is the perfect number for this thing. Oh no, oh god. Some would say too much. Alright, I'm not gonna lie, I think I've spoken too soon. I don't think I've given myself enough time behind the wheel of this thing to really know how she drives. So, nothing left to do, but then just get after it again. And one weird thing I've noticed, you've probably heard it too, is I think the spacing and the gears is a little bit too far apart. So, if you shift, it'll go like way down in the revs and it'll like almost bog down for a second before you actually start to get power. So that should be a pretty easy fix. I'm not gonna do it now, maybe before the track test. But to be honest, power delivery is pretty smooth in this thing. Even with an open diff, it just puts the power down really well. Maybe I need to not spin my camera around. Oh, not again. I can't wait to do this. Oh, and speaking of that diff, check this out. Excuse me. Okay, ignore him. let him go. I mean, check this out. I mean, it's a little clutch drop, and absolutely nothing's happening. This thing desperately needs a new differential. So, I mean, if I had to make a list of all the changes I make to this car to, like, upgrade it, top of the list, limited slip differential, just immediately. I'm not even looking where I'm driving. I'm just talking. Okay. Also, I mean, it's a muscle car, so you might as well add more power. And if you're gonna have more power, you might as well do it with a supercharger. So put a big blower up front. And then, to be honest, I'm not the biggest chrome guy, so maybe you knock off some of the chrome. I mean, to be honest, that's all the changes this thing needs. And for a muscle car, this thing is, I'm not gonna say perfect. I don't think I'm that good at building cars. I mean, it handles as well as it needs to. Which, to be honest, if it handled any better, it'd be a pony car. So I think, you know, I'm fine with this. So, you know what, let's go ahead and check out what those changes might look like. Alright, and before we get the big reveal, here she is. To be honest, and did they just crash? No, I'm not the only one that just heard that. Oh my gosh. First me, now a cop car? Man, get a hold of yourself. Alright, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing looked a lot better in automation when I decked it out in matte black. I don't think it translates well to BeamNG, but, I mean, to be honest, I kinda like it. You can tell by the blower up front, this thing has the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 out of a Hellcat. So, get a listen to this. Oh, and, yeah, now my RPM, my tachometer doesn't fit. It's fine, you know? Just go ahead and test this thing out. If you're familiar with the numbers in the Hellcat, this thing makes, I don't know, what was it, like 707 horsepower? Oh my god, that supercharger whine is so good. I keep wanting to shift at 5,000, but it goes just a little bit further. We're already at 170, 180, and I'm completely losing it. Oh god. Yep, she, oh, my engine shut off. I was gonna say, when you get going fast enough, the front end just completely lifts up. I don't know if you guys can see that. There was a little front lip up here. It doesn't do anything. It does absolutely nothing. You'd think with the big old V8 up front, all the weights over the front tires, it'll, you know, want to stay on the ground, let the rear end lift up, but that's not the case. Well, to be honest, the rear end does want to lift up, but just, you know, when you get fast enough, the whole car wants to turn into an airplane. And to be honest, that problem I was saying with too much power, I just want to drive the car way faster than it's willing to go. I also got to watch out for traffic. Alright, you know what, this time, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm going to drive it at like a normal speed. And I will say that the that gear spacing problem I was having earlier, where it kind of bogs down after you shift, it is a lot worse on this car. Of course, you know, after third gear, it's not so bad, but getting this thing going, it's not great. Oh god. Yep, she doesn't handle that well. She's got the opposite problem that the original had. The other one didn't want to come loose. This one is nothing but loose. Poor Covet. Still going. What do you want? You need help, buddy? You alive in there? Yeah, it'll be fine. But alright, you know what, let's go ahead and actually see what this thing's made of on the track and see if 700 horsepower can actually make this car faster. Alright, here we are on Hirochi Raceway on the short course. I don't really know why, but this is just what I've been doing for all my cars. And so let's go ahead and get started here. And immediately, God, there's so much clutter on my screen. And that rev drop is just catastrophic. It's, oh, you know, the rear end's actually kicking out in this corner a little bit. That's something. See if we can't use the weight distribution, get her turned around here. No, we're going in way too fast. Here we are. Let's try and actually slow down for this corner. This thing is really showing its weight. I don't even think it's that heavy of a vehicle, but the suspension is just not there to get this thing around. It's very soft. Yeah, to be honest, I usually take a much tighter line through there, but this car is not happy with me. Fortunately, I can just kind of swing it around sometimes. Really helps out trying to get this car around the corner. Fortunately, the differential means I can't just kind of mash the throttle to get the rear end around. I gotta kind of candy flick it almost. Or sometimes I can use the brakes. But even then, it just completely swings out wide. It's got so much weight behind it. I didn't really intend to build more of like a boat, but it's really doing it. God. Come on. Finish line's right there. Just go. Go, girl, come on. Cross the line. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I think a 122 is actually decent. Compared to all the cars I made, I've seen a lot worse than this. Alright, you know, immediately before I even drive this thing, I know I'm gonna struggle. I mean, like, it handles a little bit better, I'll give it that. It just makes so much power, it's so unwieldy. Let's try this. Oh god, blower. Oh my, and I love the bonnet view for these track tests, but I guess not today. And that rev drop is just so much worse in this car. Let's just try and not kill ourselves here. I'm just gonna limit myself to quarter throttle here. And I'm just gonna take a line through the cones. I don't care. I also, once again, cannot see the corner. And I brake way late. Alright, screw it. Let's go third person here. Which, if you guys have ever driven third person, like with a steering wheel, it is so much harder than it looks. As soon as the front end breaks loose, you don't really notice until it's too late. So I think I just gotta sit like a gear higher than I'm supposed to. Brake early, all that stuff. Barely use the throttle. Come on, get the nose around. There we go. Come on. Cannot take the line that I want. It just won't let me. I gotta be so gentle on everything I do. Brake a little early here. The nose in. Completely missed the apex. And then lose the front end. And then just gun it. Okay, come on. I didn't need to make the corner. I didn't do it in the last car. You know what? Screw it. I just want to get to the finish line. Please, just let me get to the finish line. And the rev drop, and then I just lose it. Oh my god. I hate this car. And it was faster. What am I doing? What am I doing? Why is that faster? Alright, you guys saw it here. 700 horsepower. It makes cars faster. Honestly, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Goodbye.